Prince the producer.
All right, you ready? What's going on, guys? It's Tanner from Tanner Talks. Joined here by the Moses Hicks. 52 pancakes. No, I'm just kidding. Over 75 pancakes.
Yes,
all
sir.
conference. Over 200 snaps. Only allow one sack. Midland University, the greatest Midland athlete to come out of Midland of all time.
One day I wish that. Thanks, Tanner, for having me on the show. I enjoy my time, give you guys some good
Insight.
good insight on the college athlete life, and more money, more problems, baby.
This will be one of those podcasts that my grandpa watches because he watches them and I don't cuss anymore because of it.
For real?
Yeah, but he's always every time I talk to him he brings up hamburgers, and when he brings up hamburgers he tells, oh yeah, what's your friend's name? Oh, Moses. Yeah.
Five Guys, baby.
He brings up. He's like, I'll only eat one if he makes it.
Yeah.
I'm not right in front of him, bro.
Because I was the best Five Guys worker there was.
He was pretty good, but I was the greatest Five Guys employee.
Manager,
So
I'll give you that, but I was the...
either way, the two best duos to ever come out of there. So.
Denny was whack. I had to put that out there.
All right. So what we're doing today is we're gonna talk a bit about your little football career. When did you start playing football?
Well, I don't really know the certain age I started playing football, but I know my brother was in third grade. I was maybe, I don't know what grade you're. I mean, what age you are. But I know it was second grade for sure.
Skip graduated in 2017, right? He was 2 years ahead of us.
Ooh, 1 year ahead of us.
1 year ahead of us.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so when
2 years. You're right. 2 years.
Yeah. So when so if he was in third grade, you'd be in first.
Yep, first grade.
So that's when you started
I played
playing
up.
it.
I played up because I was a little bigger, so my dad made me play up. So.
Oh, so you played a grade ahead?
Yeah, I played older always until I finally caught up with my age, and then I started playing.
And was that the first sport that you played, or was there other sports?
Yeah, I mean, it was football, and then I finally started getting into basketball once I seen Sterling, and it was just another sport that I liked.
I feel you, man. As you're a kid and you're playing sports and you're playing football, was there any football player that you looked up to or you was inspired by, or did you watch a lot back then, or was it just playing and you was a kid, so you was probably playing outside and things like that?
I was a normal kid. I didn't really inspire football players. I inspired the Dallas Cowboys because that was my pops loved. But
Inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to players, I wasn't really into football. I'm not really still into. I watch NFL, but I don't have anybody that inspires me or makes me push myself. I mean, it's just all me, honestly.
Have you always been a lineman throughout your whole football career? No?
Started out as a quarterback for a little bit.
You was a quarterback?
Yeah, first couple of years I was a quarterback. I played running back, and then...
So you started in first grade?
Yeah.
And you was a quarterback in first grade?
Running back first grade. Second grade, when my brother got out, I was a quarterback. Barely. I was terrible. Then I got into O-line about, I think, third, fourth grade when I got overweight, and then ever since then, I remember he was trying to take off my orange sticker.
Oh, yeah, the tape.
Yeah.
The orange tape.
For band and football, you had an orange sticker if you were overweight. Every time there's 62, 62. My dad would get mad at me, smack me in my head, put a sticker on me, tell me to go back out there. It was a good time.
So what grade did you start playing lineman?
Third, fourth grade.
Okay. And being a lineman, that's a pretty gritty position. You got to do a lot of the dirty work. You guys don't get the respect that you deserve. You're the only reason why the play's happening.
Yeah.
Holes are opening, the quarterback's being protected. So, being a lineman, are you okay with being a lineman?
Now I am. Back then in the day, when growing up, all your friends, you see them run the ball, scoring touchdowns, having fun. You used to think damn, I wish I was like that. Dang, I want to be that. I want to be that guy, to give that ball to win that scoring touchdown. But nowadays, when I look at football and I look at the mentality and aspect of the game, the heart and soul of the O-line is what makes a team. It makes or break your team. If you have a terrible O-line, no plays are off, no run plays, no pass plays. But I don't know. To me, it's either win or go home, and it's eat or be in that O-line.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I started playing football in sixth grade. I didn't have a lot of money when I was younger and types thing.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I first started playing football, my favorite player of all time is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And so that's who.
Guy.
Yeah, that's who I wanted to be like when I started. So I wanted to play running back. So I even had number 28. That's what number I picked. but I was a lineman.
Yeah. That was 28 as a number of lineman. As a lineman?
No, okay, so I think I wanted to be 28. I don't remember what I was now that I'm thinking about it. I think I might have been 52 or something like that.
I don't remember the numbers. I know I was 62 my first year playing, and ever since then, I remember I 52, played my 8th grade year against Northside, and I was middle linebacker.
Yeah, I played, wait a minute. Was it 8th grade year? It was 8th grade year.
Mhm.
I did play 8th grade year for Northside. You was linebacker?
Mm-hmm. I'm the one that picked off Luke 2-3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. Because didn't he hit someone?
Yeah, that DN, they got in a little fight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember hearing from your guys' crowd. Your dad really pissed me off, or my bad, really made me mad.
Mhm.
He was loud. You know what I mean? You know how your dad is. He gets all hype and everything. I used to be like, God, like I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who you
Exactly.
was. I didn't know who he was. Now he's cool. You know.
Facts. Now you know.
But I remember whenever Luke punched your DN or whoever, I just hear from your guys' sideline, "What's up, 12? What's wrong, 12? Come on, 12." Yeah.
Big Mo.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
man.
but yeah, so I wanted to be like a running back, but I got put at lineman.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was just little. You know, I was a little guy for that age. I'm still kind of a smaller guy. I'm
Yeah.
bigger, but, like, I'm a smaller height-wise guy. I was playing lineman, and then I didn't play my 7th grade year, and then I played my 8th grade year, and I was a lineman again. And then
Got to high school, you was
well, yeah,
linebacker.
freshman
tight
year,
end.
yeah, freshman year, I kind of, like, hit a growth spurt. And so that's why when you look at freshman pictures of me, I'm kind of slimmed down a little bit.
Mhm.
And so I got to the tight end and outside linebacker. And then sophomore year, that's after I started working at Five Guys, I gained some weight, so they put me at middle linebacker.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's when we started kicking it.
Yeah. So, played middle linebacker, and that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the middle linebacker. Like, I mean, you just
Defense is fun, don't get me wrong. Like, playing D-line and going up and moving offensive linemen and getting a tackle or a sack. Like, yeah, that's fun. But, like, going out there and dominating someone the whole game, moving them 3-4 yards off the ball every play, pass pro, not giving up any sacks, just playing with them, trying new techniques, trying new things you want to do. That, to me, is just, like, I don't know. There's a whole other part of the game that no one really sees.
And it probably feels good as a lineman too. During games, like if you're blocking well and everything, crowds or fans, they don't notice it really unless the QB is getting destroyed. Then they're like, "Oh, come on, line!"
Yeah.
But whenever it's going good, people really don't. "Oh, good job, O-line."
They look at the running back and be like, "Oh, the running back's having a good game," or
Yeah.
the quarterback's having a really good game, but they don't think that the quarterback has a good game because he has 5-6 seconds to throw the ball to wherever he
Right.
wants to.
Right.
He's not feeling rushed because no one's getting up on him.
But what I'm saying though is that the spotlight that you guys don't get while you're on the field from the fans and everything, after the games and during the film room and everything like that, like if you guys have a good game, you guys do get a lot of spotlight. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
from
yeah.
your coaches, like
A lot of
other people don't
recognition.
see that.
Exactly.
Other people don't see that, but coaches do. The other team sees it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of one of those things that it's like a Steven Adams. When people say who's a great center, like you really don't mention Steven Adams.
Yeah, that's
You
not
know?
that's not who you first think of.
Yeah,
in your
you
head.
think of Anthony Davis's, Andre Drummond's, Boogie Cousins, like when he's healthy, things like that. But Steven Adams, he gets in there, he gets offensive rebounds, he gets all kinds of rebounds. He'll box out, he'll set good picks,
Exactly.
just the little things that you see.
bring the energy.
Yeah. So, if you could start your football career over, and you can change your weight to whatever you needed it to be, would you still be a lineman or would you change it? And
Nah,
whatever one you picked, like that's what you picked.
Yeah, I'd still be a lineman. If I don't know, yeah, I'd for sure still be a lineman. If I could change like anything, it'd be like my body type from like my freshman year. I wish I would have hit my growth spurt, grown
Sooner.
into my body sooner. Just maybe I had like a better chance of going somewhere after high school. But I mean, honestly, I'm happy and I'm grateful for where I grew in and how I grew up and my body type and where I am right now.
Yeah, like I feel like if I could have chosen or started football sooner, because I've always wanted to play football, but I never really could.
Yeah.
But if I could have chosen or picked my body type and everything, I want to play quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just you get the most credit. Everything it lives and dies on you.
But you also gotta know everything.
Oh, I know. That's something
Everything.
that I couldn't imagine. Like,
Yeah.
I just have so much respect for, like Diego and Day,
Mm-hmm.
just the way that they could just remember all the plays and things like that. Just being a quarterback in general is just tough because you gotta know who to motion. You gotta know what play, if it's a run, if it's a pass.
On top of that, when it gets to like the college level, they got to know break, like a zone break or cover 2, cover 3. You got to know how to break down a defense if a linebacker's blitzing. Like you got to know certain schemes of the defense. On top of if the scheme is different, you got to switch it to the offense, make audibles, make a call. So it's just I couldn't do it. I know.
Yeah, but you also are one of the smartest linemen I've ever talked to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty technical, and I know I'm in my textbook and my playbook a lot.
Yeah, like I feel as if you were the second, if not first, smartest player on the field at all times when we played together. Maybe it still is like that for Midland too, but it's just like you kind of you told all the linemen where to be. You told all the linemen where to block, and you knew the plays. Even sometimes you'd be like, it's a run, and or you're supposed to pull.
Yeah.
Like people mess up and they'll run block, and you're supposed to pull left.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Fix the corrections on the field.
And
if you want to be a leader, you got to know everybody's position.
And although you wasn't the most, I'm not saying you wasn't better.
Yeah.
There's people like Dio who was really good physically, and he would go and he was strong.
Yeah, just had that natural body strength.
Yeah. Even though you may or may not have been as strong physically as Dio, you were so much smarter. No offense, Dio, but you was such a smart lineman that your smartness being up here, or your IQ being up here, and your strength being up here. I think that's what elevated you, and you was able to get to that next level, and I applaud you for it, for real, because it's hard to do, man. It really is, and, I'm proud of you, for real. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be where I am. I know you see kids at Lafayette nowadays, getting more opportunities to go to college, and that's good. I hope everybody at Lafayette comes out can make their way to college and do their thing. It's a grind. You got to understand that you're going to go in there at the bottom of the toilet pole, but you got to understand, good is always at the end of, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always room to improve and make yourself better. And at the end of the day, something could come good out of it.
There's obviously levels to playing anything, or to being in anything. There's levels when you're playing baseball, basketball, football, singing, whatever your hobby or whatever you're trying to excel in, there's levels to it. Describe the difference in levels between Bantam and high school football.
I mean, Bantam football is more of, it's fun, but it's not really fun. It's kind of just what you do because everybody else does it. At first, football wasn't, to me, it was a good passion, but it wasn't an outlook. It wasn't an outlook for stress or anger. It was just something to do because I was bored. It was something my dad wanted me to do. So Bantam League football is real different when it comes to competitive, because nowadays you might see it's more competitive. For back then when I played, it was just, yes, it was competitive, but it was fun. We lost, but shit, I didn't care. It was Bantam League football. But you see parents take it serious because parents are more into it than we are. So when you get to high school, that's when you start knowing a change in a demeanor of angry and hunger to get better. And hunger, when you lose, you're mad at yourself. You want to be great. So high school more competitive because you don't want to lose. And there's more incentive in high school than it was in Bantam League.
Yeah, whenever I played football 6th grade year, and we went defeated. Lost every game by 35 plus.
You don't hear that often.
It was bad.
Defeated.
It was, yeah, you hear undefeated. Yeah, we was defeated, and I remember we lost every game, and it was bad. And towards the very end of the year, there was 10 players that even showed up, and the game got canceled type thing.
Wow.
It was bad. Northside was bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't play 7th grade year because it was man, I don't know if it's really for me or not. And we played 8th grade year, which we only went 2-4 or something like that. But I remember the first game we had, it was against LeBlond, and it was probably it was 100. It was over 100 degrees, so hot. We ran out of water, and we won. And it was my first win playing football ever, and it was such a hard fought win.
Yeah.
And
so you felt like you earned it. And
I just started crying.
For real?
Yeah, it was my first win, and I was just I was just hot.
That's that first mental hump you got to get over.
Yeah, it was like I was just so hot, and I think that win might have might have showed me what it feels like to be a winner. Like, even though we only won one game after that and was
For the rest
terrible.
of the season,
Yeah, I feel like that kind of hit that notch in my brain forever to, like, I always want to win. And I'm so competitive now. Like, when you play me in basketball, like, when you play me, like, I'm not as physically gifted as everybody else, but I want to win. Like, whatever I'm doing, I want to be first. I want to
got that grit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
all
you know
it
how I
takes.
am, bro. We
I'm
play
already
whatever.
know.
I'm trying to just win.
Facts.
But yeah, I was crying, and then when you get to high school, it's like you're representing your school. You're representing Lafayette.
You got something truly to play for. Like, it's like you got a real, like, a name on the back, on the front of your jersey. You got a real number that people represent. You got something, like, to work towards, like a college scholarship or something. You don't think about that your freshman year, but, like, I wish I would have thought about your freshman year, like, thinking something about that. Because, I don't know. I think going into college, in high school, wanting to go to college is a good thing. But you got to start like freshman. You can't. Junior year, yes, it's possible to start junior year and pick it back up. But freshman year, just gives you that extra advantage.
So now that you kind of explained the difference between Bantam and high school, what about from high school to the college level?
High school, you still have those kids on the team that are underdeveloped. Like, you still have kids on the team just to play. Like, this is their first year of football, trying football. They're just doing it to be there. Like, I would say that's the kind of the biggest difference in college or high school. Like, everybody on the team has a purpose. Everybody on the team is given a purpose, is given a reason to be there because you have like a college scholarship. It's not often that you get a college scholarship to go play football. So I would say just the hunger and the availability they make for football is way different. You see cats in high school, like, missing days, missing meetings. Like, in high school, you don't have team meetings. You don't have film practice. In college, you have all that, and you don't see guys missing that. So it's taken a lot more seriously, like you would assume, in college football than it is in high school football.
Yeah, I can. That kind of puts it into a cool perspective, for someone, because I don't know how it is. I don't play college football. You do, so it kind of does put into that perspective that when you're playing in high school, anybody can play. And especially when there's non-cuts, because we didn't cut anybody. So you had those one kids who really didn't know what they was doing playing, and no offense to those kids, but they didn't excel in it. And then there was those tweeners who maybe they wasn't good, or maybe they had issues or something, and so they didn't really live up to what they was going to be.
But they could have been that, but they just had.
But they just didn't.
Yeah.
And then then you have the players who go there every day, but didn't really take it to the next level. And then you have the players who went there every day and did take it to the next level. But when it comes to college, everybody is at that next level. And it's because they're all the top of what that little pyramid that I said when it went from the bottom to the tweeners to the everydays plus, they took it to the next level. Everybody in college is from that top group, so that's kind of like a cool perspective that I never really looked at it that way. Everybody's there.
But I will tell you, like, we can't put everybody in college at that top group because there's still. Yes, I will say everybody in college is like they're there and they perform. Everybody has their own like good ability, but you also have to understand that you get to college and the textbook, the playbook, everything is a lot bigger. So you still have people that fall short even in college. So yes, they might be on that pyramid, but once you get to that pyramid, there's another pyramid. It's just like high school, and the pyramids keep going on and on.
But you see, with that, I disagree because even though they may have failed in college, doesn't mean that they wasn't at the top in high school. Because I was just basically putting it in the pyramid for high school. The high school pyramid is like, there's that group where they don't really excel. Then there's that group of like they really could have been something, but they decided not to. Whether it was their choices outside of school, outside of the field, whatever it was, they just didn't really take their talent or their what's the word I'm looking for. Their skill level to the next level. And then there's those guys that went there every day, like myself, who I was there, but I just didn't take it to the next level. Maybe I could, maybe I couldn't have. But then there's guys like you who was at the top in high school. You was All-State, wasn't you?
Yeah, D-line my senior year.
All-State D-lineman. You took that to the next level. And then that becomes a new pyramid. But what I'm saying, though, is once you're at the top of that high school pyramid and you come up to college, whether you start at the bottom or the middle, or top, whatever, you still made it from the top of the pyramid from the high school. And then that's what puts you in. And, and then when it comes to college, it's really just only the strong survive,
Exactly.
And same with NFL. When you're in college and you're at the top level, there's going to be guys who don't excel in college. There's going to be guys who are tweeners who could have been really good in college but decided not to. Mm-hmm. Guys that show up every day but aren't good enough to go pro. Mm-hmm. And then there's the guys that are outstanding because to make it to the NFL, you have to be special. Yeah. And there's guys that are outstanding and they do take it to the next level, which would be like the NFL or overseas or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I think it's a cool perspective that you put it in, with those levels and within the levels. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. What is your favorite memory while playing football?
Like, specify that. What you mean by any football?
It could be any year of football. Just what's like a memory that you just have stuck in your head?
Probably me scoring a touchdown against the Blonde my senior year and running the ball. It's just, I don't know. Like, when I was a kid, I scored touchdowns. Like, my first couple years playing, I scored them touchdowns. And ever since then, like, yeah, you think about as an old lineman, like, man, I wish I could score touchdowns. But, like, towards my senior year, that's when I started really, like, falling in love with the passion of an old lineman. But when I scored that touchdown, it was just kind of like a dibble-dabble, like you taste it and you're like, oh, this could be me, but it's not me. But it's something I always hold on to.
I feel you, man. That's you was one of the higher ups in school. You was one of the most popular. You know what I mean? And you're a lineman, so whenever you get that touchdown and it's your name on that, it's Coach Book saying your name and the whole crowd's cheering for you. I'm sure it is a special little feeling,
That's a moment I'll never forget. That touchdown.
I think every football player's dream is to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what my favorite memory would be. Like, I don't think I had any highlights like that, man. I know
no
first
tackle, no big tackle.
Man, I think I might have had some good hits, but other than that, man, I think my favorite memory might have just been Chillicothe. Like that, I had a pretty good game against Chillicothe.
Yeah, that was a good win too. Didn't we win that game?
Yeah, man, I get into my little football talk, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just feel locker room talk. Yeah, but man, it was just kind of like Chillicothe. I just knew, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get emotional, but like, I just knew I played 6th grade, played 7th grade, and then I played freshman, sophomore, junior, then senior. I knew I wasn't going to go to college, even though I had Mid-Nazareth.
Mid-American Nazarene.
Yeah. I could have went there, I think, but.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Like them offering you to come and look. You wanted them to go look at the campus or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really remember, but I just remember, I messed my pinky up, and if I could go back, I would just not have the surgery and whatever, because I still, it's not fully good all the way. But I just remember I wasn't supposed to be playing, and it could have been it was supposed to be there, and I got approved of playing, and I just knew that it was going to be my last game, playing football ever. Yeah. So I was just thinking, everything in football that I've done, it's all leading up to this final moment.
Yeah.
And so it was just I didn't even start the game with jitters or anything. It was just I let it all out. Yeah. And I had a pretty good game, man. I mean, I really did. I was filling gaps, and, I had some tackles, and I think I had a sack maybe. But I had a good game. It was fun. We killed them.
Just hearing you say that, though, puts chills on my back, just thinking about, my last game of playing football and, when that would be, and just thinking, just trying to think of the future and look at that moment, I just couldn't. I don't know. Yeah,
because you just never know when it's gonna be the end.
That right now.
I should have. If I didn't get hurt, I would have had some more games, and who knows. I was an honorable mention. I'm not trying. I hate patting myself on the back or anything, but I was an honorable mention, and I missed how many games that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was honestly your first year starting too.
Yeah, my first year starting, and I was an honorable mention, and I only played maybe 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
So I want to pat myself on the back, but I could have made some type of team. I think.
And maybe you could have, if you finished it out and now you get hurt, maybe had more confidence to try college. Maybe actually want to go forward and maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, but I don't like to live with regrets because it's in the past, so I can't really change anything about it. But yeah, it was just the fact of me knowing this tonight is going to be the last time I ever play football competitively. Yeah. And so I just kind of left it out there. So that might be my favorite moment, actually. and then getting some recognition from Coach McDowell. I like Coach McDowell a lot. I'm glad he was the coach. But if you don't achieve the ultimate goal, and I don't like saying stuff like this because I feel like you could. I believe in you. You know what I mean? If you don't achieve the ultimate goal, which is I'm assuming the ultimate goal is playing in the NFL, right?
Of course.
So if you don't achieve the ultimate goal of playing in the NFL, will you still be involved in football?
I don't know. Right now, I tell myself, like, no, I don't want to, like, try to coach high school or college football, but I feel like I could be involved in, like, my kids' lives with football and athletics, be that father that coaches their kids all the way up and then pass it to another coach in high school or middle school, however it is then. But I don't know. I feel like I could have a lot of knowledge to give back and a lot of good things to teach and grow on and help kids and get kids to where they want to be. But I don't know. I've played a lot and I've been through a lot. And I just don't think I have the energy or the sense of urgency to want to do that. I think I really want to focus on me and find another part of my life and dive into that and just be a different person, not someone fully around football. I want to truly find who I am after football.
You don't want it to define you?
Yeah.
You want it to, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, man. What about, your nephews or your, I don't want to say their names on here, but like your nephews and stuff, when they play, they can still come up to you and ask you whatever they.
Of course.
What I mean?
Like they come up to me whenever they want advice, or I'm gonna go still watch their games and be involved. But when it comes to actually taking time out of my day to go to practice and film and try to like learn and like get a new playbook for a team and do all like the things you have to do as a coach, that's just not. I don't think I'll have that passion. I don't think I'll want to do that.
Yeah, even though you have the brains for it, I really think you have the brains for it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you got to have so much energy. You got to take time away from your girl, everything like that. If you have a family, you got to take time away from your family.
Exactly.
That kind of gives me another appreciation for coaches too. They do take a lot of time out of their day, and they got to work, and then they got
their own kids to worry about. And they put a lot more effort and energy into us during a certain part than their own kids.
You've played multiple sports. I'm guessing you've played football, you've played basketball. Did you play baseball?
Yeah.
Played baseball, anything else?
Track. I did that little discus and shot put and track.
In the end, you chose football.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose football over those?
Baseball and track, simple. That wasn't my cup of tea. This wasn't something I was excelled at or felt like I could really take to the next level. Basketball. Yes, if and in, like I felt like my senior year when I lost weight and I got into shape, I feel like I could have maybe tried to walk on somewhere and play basketball. But yeah, I don't know, it was just basketball was my brother's thing. Like if we're being honest, I just didn't want to follow my brother's footsteps. I wanted to do my own thing. And so I chose football.
It's a good choice, man. For real, because, you never know. With basketball, I mean, you have like a good football player build. You know what I mean? So something that can get kind of touchy with football players, CTE. So do you ever think about like the CTE, or do you ever think about, when you're playing, or if you have any effects from playing, especially at linemen? Because I feel like linemen or linebackers, people who are always in an impact, running backs, I feel like it affects them the most.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't ever really thought about like the long-term effects of playing offensive line or playing football. Like right now I live in the moment, but like when I think about it, yes, I do take a lot of blows to the head 24/7, play up to play up to play. And yes, it could lead to damage, but like it's like a pain and pleasure thing. Like yes, it's going to be pain, but I get pleasure out of playing football. I get pleasure out of the thrill it gives me. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a 50-50, but also one of those 50s way more than the other because it's that pleasure.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I might have maybe some amount of it, a small amount, just because I'd be forgetting things really bad sometimes.
Oh, of course.
Like I just like I can't think of sometimes. Like I feel like that might be some small effect. Other people, there's Aaron Hernandez who just went kind of ape and ended up killing and killed himself, and then he had the CTE of like an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it like that, of course, but yeah, I didn't know if that was just anything that you think about or.
No, I mean, of course, my mom and family members look after me, and hopefully, but like with football going nowadays and like the restrictions and equipment and my university I go to spending thousands of dollars on the best Vices helmets you can think of to prevent concussions, prevent things like that. Like I don't know, I feel like I'm in good hands and put a lot of faith and trust in God.
Something I was talking about with someone I work with, me and him are both big UFC fans, and we was talking about movies, and he said something about Concussion. And I don't know if you've ever seen or heard about the movie Concussion with Will Smith.
Yep, I have.
I've never watched it, but I knew what it was about like CTE and stuff like that.
Mm.
And we was talking, and he was saying, I really don't understand how these NFL players or these football players get CTE more than these athletes do or these UFC fighters do. And I was like, oh, I do 100%. And he was like, I was like, NFL players, you're way more likely to get CTE when you're playing football than fighting. And
Exactly.
he was like, are you serious? And I told him, I was like, oh yeah, dude. I mean, think about it. Like, I played lineman for 2 out of my 6 years. And every single, honestly, I played lineman for defensive lineman, sometimes for JV and stuff like that, and offensive lineman sometimes for JV. And every single snap, I'm getting a head-on collision.
Helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet. Every snap. I know you're not supposed to hit helmet to helmet, but as a linebacker, I would crack people with my helmet.
Exactly.
Like that. It was like
It's hard not to.
yeah. And so I was just telling him, I was like, every single play, I'm just hitting someone in with my head to theirs.
And that's when you think about like that's that's at a game, but like at practice you're doing the same thing.
Uh-huh.
You're doing that 5-6 days out of the week, especially if you're in spring ball or fall camp. Like you're doing that consistently every day for 3.5 months.
My bad.
You're good.
But yeah, I was just telling him that because if you're thinking about it, let's say 2 people are running at each other helmet to helmet. You guys are colliding like this. I'm gonna just show this to you. But you guys are colliding like this, and then it's just all power into it, and then it just stops.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I'm fighting you, and let's say I throw a head kick, and I kick you in your head, you're gonna get hit in the head, and you're gonna fall back. There's a momentum push. You know what I mean? And yeah, I would rather get hit in the head 50 times helmet to helmet than take 5 elbows to my dome.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes the sport so dangerous, though, is because you're playing football and you have all this stuff inside of your helmet. They got new technology to protect you and everything like that. And so you're getting all these collisions, but you don't realize, I feel like, how much damage you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in UFC, if you're getting hit in your head and punched in your head and elbowed in your head and kicked in your head, or MMA, you just don't want that. That's why I think it's more dangerous.
It's gonna stop. Like eventually, you can't take no more. With football, yes, but you can also. It's just like it takes a lot more for it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a slow, progressive thing.
Yeah. How has your college experience been? In general, you're about to be a junior.
Mm-hmm.
And, you've been through your first 2 years. The first time I had you on, I believe it was the summer going into your freshman year, or maybe it was March. It was March, so what would that be?
That was the first semester. That was after first semester of my freshman year. It was second semester of my freshman year.
And you know what's crazy about that is on the podcast you was talking about, someone's got COVID at
The
Nebraska.
YMCA, yeah.
Yeah, and you said Denny, talking about Denny, you was cooking Denny about it, and I think it's kind of crazy. I think that
was literally like a year from now almost.
Yeah, it was a year and a month away from. Yeah, a year and basically a month.
Yeah, almost.
But, like I was saying, your college experience though, you've been through 2 years since basically our last podcast. Well, you've been through your full 2 years in college. How has it been, and has it lived up to your expectations?
Yeah, college has been everything I thought it'd be. Classes, of course, are a struggle. You think I'm here to play football, I'm trying to get my degree, and yes, I want to get my degree, but it's kind of hard to sit there and be so fully divided into football and be fully strained from football and have the time and effort to do schoolwork at the night. That's where a big mental thing I am with right now with the college, but football's lived up to my expectation. Like I said on our last podcast, like it was just going in there was hard. Like no one knew me, no one knew who I was. I was 198 pounds. It just looking back on it now, like I would never think I'd be in a situation I am now with on the team and the leadership and how I'm at recently. I'm currently going through rehab for a labrum tear, and so like I'm not able to practice, I'm not able to lift, I'm not able to do too much with the team, but I am involved as much as I can. Like basically, they call me Coach Hicks. Like I have all the underclassmen coming up to me, asking me questions of technique, if I'm watching film, if anything they can fix. Like it's just to look back on it, like just a year ago, I was that guy. I was that guy asking the upperclassmen, like, what can I fix? Taking them, they was taking me underneath their wing. Now I'm taking guys underneath my wing. Just a year later, at 19 years old, it's just college has been good.
That's insane that in a year difference, you're already taking people under your wing. You got people asking you questions, even though, they're seniors. There's, I don't know. I think that's pretty dope.
Yes.
I'd be happy about that.
Yeah, the nice thing is, like, I still have a lot to learn. I'm not even at my ceiling. I'm not even to my peak of, like, my ability and my knowledge. Like, that's what's just, it's crazy to me, like, where my potential, where I can actually end up at if I actually start. And once I get back into it, taking it seriously and getting back to my routine and getting out of my shoulder and my head right now. But once I get there, I'm ready to see where it'll take me.
And you got the extra year.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you an extra year of eligibility, so that's awesome too.
So last year didn't count. It was just a free year for no money.
That's awesome. For real. That makes me happy for you too.
Facts.
You're a captain, right? Are you a captain?
I mean, not really like technically a captain, but like, I mean, I'm involved in all the decisions and stuff.
Is that
like
an only senior thing or no?
I mean, yes, you see more upperclassmen or you see players like who go above and beyond. So like, there's a couple sophomores on us, but mainly it's juniors and seniors. Yeah.
How many captains are there?
About 6 or 7 of us.
Okay.
7, 8 maybe.
Yeah. After football, what's after football? Whether you make it to the NFL or don't, what's after football?
Honestly, I'm gonna start a life. My girl Whitney, I'm gonna shout her out real quick. She's in the back right here. Say what's up, baby. Nah, but I don't know. I know I am going to school right now to get my degree in human services, and I've been thinking more about what I want to do and give back. And I think I want to do like social service work, CPS work, child protective service, stuff like that. At first, there for a little bit, I was doing athletic training, but that's just it involves sports. That's just something I don't want it to define me no more. I want to be the athletic guy. I went to college to play sports. Like, I don't know. I want to try to do something else. I want to step out of my box, find a new variety of things, and just be a different person than I am now.
I think you and Lyle would be a good duo.
Shout out Lyle.
Shout out Lyle, man. He was great. I appreciate Lyle.
Yes, sir.
No, I like that, because aren't you trying to be like an athletic trainer or something like that? Or wasn't you trying?
I was trying to be an athletic trainer, stay in the football, stay in the sports,
And now you're not?
No, I actually changed that. I don't. Because you think about an athletic trainer, it's a 5-year program, and 2 years of that is like what you call your master's program. Everything's hands-on work. So it's like, what Lyle does, go to all the volleyball games on top of going to school, everything. Like, I'm not, that's what you have to do 7 days out of the week, and I don't want to be dedicated to a sport like that. I don't want to have to go out there and squirt water bottles in someone's mouth for 3 hours and watch a practice that I never even played, watch a hockey practice or a baseball practice. I don't want to do that.
That's cool, though, like the CPS thing, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Especially now, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who don't care about their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, someone gets a complaint and then you pull up with CPS, like, you're going to have to hand your big ass the kid, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But.
And I'm good with kids. Like, I got nephews and nieces. And I feel like I can connect with someone. I have a background of just being able to make it through hard times, and so I just really want to try to give back and help people out of a bad situation. I think that might be my way to give back.
I think that's something that I'm really glad. I think that to be good with kids, you have to be blessed with it or given it or just something you have like the it factor, because there's some people who just kids don't like them and stuff, and I just. Any of my little nephews or babies or whatever, you know what I mean? They all love me.
Exactly.
So random strangers, like, kids I don't really see all the time, like, they say what's up, I say what's up. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool with babies. I don't know what it is, man, but I appreciate you coming on here, bro. And
of course.
I'm glad
you
you gave everyone some insight. I wanted to be more professional than the last one, and and now that you're in your junior year,
Mhm.
I can pick your brain more, and you can give me more insight. So
Of course.
I appreciate you coming on for real, man. And I don't know, I'm proud of you for real.
Appreciate you, bro.
Love you, bro, for real.
Love you too, dog.
Everybody, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. Season 2. This is kicking off season 2, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pop out for the Midland games next year. We'll put the schedule up. You know what's cracking. Natty coming soon.
Thank you guys for listening to Tanner Talks, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.